There are so many body changes that happened to you during pregnancy that you have to heal from now that you've had your child. Now, let us talk about these body changes and their healing process in this video. But not just that, I'm going to be giving you a fun fact at the end of the video. Welcome to Pregnant Care. Here, I make simplified videos about pregnancy and postpartum. So please do well to support this channel by subscribing and liking this video. Our watchword is motherhood activated, patience activated, love is all we need. Now let us go into it. Your skin gets soft during pregnancy, and the moment you give birth like this, it even goes softer. But now, few weeks after delivery, your body starts to heal and it starts to get back to its usual thickness. So during this period, before it gets back to its usual thickness, please do well to stay away from hurting yourself, because it's going to even be so easy to hurt yourself during this period. Another one is the pimples, eczema, and so on that usually happen, especially during third trimester. They will start going, but sometimes they don't usually go on their own. You have to get a product, something to heal, but make sure you get a natural one, to maybe a facial cleanser to clean your face to make these pimples go away. But most times the ones on your chest, your back, or other areas might go on its own. So if your eczema is not going, if your pimples is not going, if your swellings is not going, after give it some month, like a month or a month and a half, then you can start using a product on it to make you go back to your usual self. And there is something called carpal tunnel syndrome, that is an inflammation of the joint, especially of your wrist, that happens to some pregnant women. At this point, the moment you have your baby, it will go, but depends on your body. There are some women that it doesn't go until they are done breastfeeding, and there are some women that while they are breastfeeding, it just goes away on its own naturally. So this solely and mainly depends on your body. Now let us talk about your tummy bulge. Of course, your tummy had to expand during the period of making your baby, but now that you have birthed your baby, your tummy will still be out. Now this is time for you to start going back. Like they used to say, tummy bulge usually go itself naturally on its own. It really does goes on its own. Over time it goes. But then you can make it go faster or aid the process by using tummy bind. You can buy tummy belt, or you can use even wrapper to squeeze your tummy, because the moment you have just given birth, your tummy is always very soft, very soft. So though it still looks big, but it's always very soft. So when you start using the tummy binder early, it closes up the gap and the spaces in your stomach immediately. It does that. In fact, some people who use this tummy bind, in a month their tummy is back. But nevertheless, if you cannot go through all the stresses these people go through, you can be patient as you breastfeed, and everything, your body will just start adjusting back. As the fat in your body is melting away, the fat there is melting away, the space there is closing up, and there will be no tummy bulge for you again. Now, after giving birth, there are some people that they don't usually have fat even after giving birth, or even when they were pregnant, they won't have too much fat, they'll just have a little increment in fat. But be careful, because there's nothing to be careful though. But then while they are breastfeeding, they start getting fat. Don't worry. Every fat you get, you will lose as far as you are breastfeeding. That's what they say. It happens. Now, why don't some people lose fat? Is because they eat enough, they don't move, they eat well. I don't want to say they eat too much, but they eat so well, and they don't exercise enough, they don't move around enough. So the only thing that is burning the food is probably the calories that they are using to make breast milk. But then you have to also move around if you have work. In fact, most people who have works and they have to wake up in the morning, go and be busy from morning to night, they usually lose their fat along the line on the long run. So there's the chances of losing your fat is high, but it depends solely on you and the activity you are into. Let us talk about breast zagging. I've mentioned zaggy breast during pregnancy, yes, because your breast goes a little bit down. But then after giving birth, it now goes to the real place it was going to in the first place. It goes even more down. But do not worry, at that point, I'm not sure it's going anywhere anymore, only if you didn't do proper care and measure. But then at the same time, you don't need to think, oh, it's breastfeeding that's going to zag your breast. Or as far as you're breastfeeding the proper way, you are eating good food, you are eating enough, you're drinking enough water. The only thing that brings down your breast is the automatic coming down of the breast that your body takes because you're pregnant and you have given birth. Of course, your tears would have healed properly by now. And let me tell you something, your Mrs. V doesn't usually go back to its usual way, exactly in its usual way. It kind of opens up, but it closes up back later. Later is like around a year or 2 years old. Yeah. That's it. But that's still not the fun fact I'm going to tell you today. So stay tuned for me. Please, as you watch, do well to subscribe to this channel. Thank you. There's a chance that you may have joint issues, especially for those women if you did not give birth early, in the sense that you have entered 30, 31, 32, those kind of stuff. Your recuperation may not be so sharp and fast. You may not be able to go back to your original size again. You may not, but you can still go back. It depends on how ready you are to work on your body. And then your going back might be slow compared to someone who is 22, 23, and snapping back to their original self is not going to be so hard on them. Now, during this period, there's possibility you experience joint pains, joint aches, and all. Don't worry. Take care of yourself. Eat good food. Take your minerals by eating vegetables, your vitamins, your fibers, and everything. Over time, all these things will be adjusted. But if it tarries or it becomes too painful, it's all the time and all those stuff, please do well to seek medical attention. Now to the tea and the fun fact of the day. Do you know that your husband's DNA is remained in your body after having your first child? Yes. Now, during the process of making a child, of course, you need everything 50% from the man and everything 50% from the woman. Now, they come together to become one baby. This one baby stays and resides in the self-contained of the mother. During this period of time, after giving birth, there is possibility that is not possibility, it usually happens that a little bit of the DNA that came from the husband gets to interact with the body of the woman and stays there. So don't be surprised when you start doing some things like your husband. You'll be very surprised. I know now you're remembering. Yes, exactly. That is mostly the cause of this. So that is your fun fact for today. I hope I've been able to help. Please subscribe to this channel, and I'm going to see you again in my next video. Take care of yourself, mama. Bye.